scratching, and the other one's number 11, Triplina, at $9.50. The moving in well for race 6, 7, 2 and 4 for Michael Heath in the mounting yard. Then we go to Charlton, that race in 3 minutes. Clontarf Chip 480, 16 Bulgana Gold and 18 Takashu Lee.
It's already trained 3 winners out of 5 races. Now Preferred Date is the last one to move along. Goes in. So they're boxed and ready for the countdown to the Canberra Guineas. They're set. 1,600 metres the journey. Favourite music video. They're away. Oh, missing it was Call Me Oscar. Missed it by about 2 lengths or so. And Triplina and Majestic 10 got away well. Tights on Fire's prominent. So too is Gelato. Caught a bit wide. Zoema, then Kane Solo. Music video's not too far away as they sort themselves out. A break Lucky Conqueror followed by Preferred Date and about 2 then. Call Me Oscar at the tail of the field. On settling down. Nobody's all that keen to lead as they race down the back inside the 1,200. We're down towards the inside. Majestic 10 is joined now by Gelato. Caught very wide on the track. There was Zoema, followed by Kane Solo, getting up along the inside. A length behind those Tights on Fire, followed by Triplina, back behind those Music Video. Lucky Conqueror's down towards the inside. A length and a half then Preferred Date. And about 2 then Call Me Oscar at the tail of the field. As they leave the back and race down the side, it's Gelato on the outside, sharing the lead with Kane Solo. 3/4 of a length off then Zoema, followed by Majestic 10, 4th on the rails. A half a length then Triplina, followed centre field, then Tights on Fire. Music Video's well back, but appears to be going well, followed by Preferred Date. In behind those Lucky Conqueror and about 3 then. Back at the tail of the field was Call Me Oscar. As they race up towards the turn, the leader was Kane Solo. Gelato second, followed by Zoema. Off the track, Triplina's running on fairly well. Back behind those in the field then came Majestic 10, Lucky Conqueror. And Music Video's looking for a run now down the centre. And back behind those, Zoema, followed by Preferred Date. In the straight with about 300 to go. Kane Solo's the leader, but here comes Music Video down the centre. And on the outside was Triplina, Lucky Conqueror down towards the inside. But Music Video raced up and hit the lead. Lucky Conqueror's getting right up along the inside. And then Kane Solo, but Music Video is now racing away for a most impressive win. He's down. Music Video first. Lucky Conqueror second. Majestic 10 third. Then Triplina, followed by Kane Solo. Preferred Date, Call Me Oscar, Gelato. And the last pair across the line, Tights on Fire, in company with Zoema.
That's 4 for John Morrissey at Canberra this afternoon, but I reckon that's his most promising. Music Video number 7. It's kicked out to pay $2 in the end and $1.30 for the place. Has beaten the roughie. Lucky Conqueror 16.10 for a place and Majestic 10 at $5.10. So 7.56 there on Canberra, race number 6. Very impressive win by Music Video. Matthew Carl on board for the Morrissey stable. That's a double for Matt Carl. Now Charlton race 7, 470 Clontarf Chip, 17 Bulgana Gold, 20 Rithmore at Canberra.
He has indeed. I think that's number 4 for John Morrissey. Of course, you trained 7 here one day, John.
Yeah, January last year.
So you wait to the summer, high summer, to really hit the Canberra racecourse.
This time of the year, your horses usually sort of start to fire. You're coming into our better carnivals, and we try and program them that way. But you know, usually this time of the year's been good to me.
I'm right, aren't I? That was the 4th, the Music Video.
Yeah, correct. Yes.
And how many more? You got 2 more races to go, and you got chances in both.
Yeah. The Great Trip in the next race is. He's a very good horse, but his first 2 runs have been disappointing. The soft track will help him, you know, and we're hoping he'll improve today.
So Great Trip in the next, and then in the last.
The last, I've got Ken Point and Wenders, the 2 top weights. They're both good chances. You know, the horse that has the luck out of them will go very close to winning.
John, as Matthew described you as a man of few words, he's right, but now you have owners behind you that are buying very serious yearlings.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate. I sort of met Len Hoyle and Robin Lees, and it's been a great experience for me, great learning experience and a great experience, and sort of everything's going happy, and we hope it sort of keeps going.
Now, how nervous are you handling a $700,000 yearling?
When you've got Len Hoyle and Robin Lees as the owners, you know, I think I can handle it, yeah.
What have you done with him? Where is he in New Zealand? This is the Chief's Crown Dancer's Joy, which is a half to Umatilla and Hurricane Sky we're talking about, of course.
Yeah, we sent him back to Pencarrow Stud for a month, and we'll bring him home and break him in. But, you know, they go into, anything they do, they go into with their eyes open. And, you know, they're very good people, so it makes life very easy.
And racing is one of those things you need your eyes open. Thanks, John Morrissey. A very successful trainer here today with 2 more chances, could even finish up with 6. It's back to you, Matthew.
OK, Richard, well, I'll hand it straight over to John Tapp at Canterbury.
Good on you, Matt, and good to hear Richard talking with a wonderful trainer and a great little bloke, Johnny Morrissey at Canberra. He's certainly the king of Canberra, and his horses must have an enormous following down there.
20 Lucky Conqueror, 16 10 510 Majestic 10, 56.70 Quinella, trifecta $702 neat, and you'll probably hear a lot more about him too. Music video from the John Morrissey stable. Now they're moving in at Terrell for race 6, so let's return to Canberra. Here's Richard.
Thanks, Matthew. With me, one of the nicest little blokes in racing, particularly around Canberra area, is Rolly Saxton. Rolly, you've grown.
Yes, I have, Richard. Must be because of this box.
Rolly is actually standing on a box about, we can just see it there, what, 9 inches? But it gives you a nice lift.
Yeah, it's good.
Rolly, you're a little fella, but you've got a big heart. How are you going today?
Well, today's one of these tracks where I've been thereabouts all day. The horses are running on a little bit, but it's not my day today. Unfortunately, I can't get them to run on as well as I want them to.
Well, hope springs eternal. You're in the last. What chance there?
Well, I know for a fact I know this horse likes the wet, and that's a bonus. Now it's another thing. I've been there all day, like I said, and I haven't been able to get him to go. Hopefully this fellow will prevail for me.
What number and what horse are we talking about?
We're talking about September Mist in the last race, race 8, trained by Brian Callaghan. I've won on him on a heavy track and a good track.
Well, that's not a bad little line.
No, he hasn't had many starts. I think he's only had 8 starts. This would be his 8th start today. They're looking for the guineas for him, just like every other trainer around here. They're trying to get in the guineas, and that's what we're facing.
You've been around this area a long time. I've been racing here a while, and so have you. You happy in this district?
Yeah, you know, you've got to be happy where you're riding. I wouldn't mind a bigger picture of life, you know, perhaps in the provincials and all that. But you need the break, and hopefully one day something will come my way and somebody looking for a rider just to give a go.
What's the best horse you've ridden?
I'm only a freelance jockey. I get on the best horses I can find. Usually I ride the horses I've been riding work, and usually they go all right. I only like good ones.
So do we all.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rolling. Good luck in the last. Let's hope you can break through.
Thank you, Richard.
Back to you, Matthew, in the studio.
Thanks for that, Richard. They're moving in well at Caloundra now for the 6th event. A Class 1 over 1,000. The last at Flemington's only about 8 minutes away. They finish with the fillies and mares race. Cantonais 7.10, 6.40 Dan Bois, Arabian Poppy 6, 5.80 Rhubarba, $10 L'Amour Mani, 16 Dancing Home, and Barrique number 8 at $4.70 is the favourite. 16 Alfred's Jewel, 33, 40 and 51 for the bottom 3. Dan Bois going for 4 in a row today at Flemington. The tips are Cantonais, L'Amour Mani and Dan Bois. That's 152 from John Russell. 4, 2 and 3. Bangor Bay got third at Terralgan on the 7th, 4, 2, 3. Now they move in at Caloundra for the 6th. Here's Al. And Richard Zachariah is standing by.
Yes, we're tireless down here, Matthew. No end in sight for Barbara Joseph, who joins me, one of the leading Canberra trainers, of course. Good afternoon, Barbara.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine. How's your day been?
My day's been very well. Today, Patu, I thought went very impressive. I was very pleased with her run here today, and one of our other better chances in the last race.
What have you got in the last?
I've got Concord Flight in the last race. He's jumping up from 1,000 to a 1,400 into a Class 2, but his work's been good, and he looks like being quite a promising horse.
He won last start?
Yeah, he won here last start over 1,000 metres after missing the kick and being about 10 lengths from the lead coming round the turn.
What have you got for the guineas and the Black Oval coming up?
Well, for the guineas, I'm trying a little horse out in Sydney this week called McJoey that won over at Wagga last week, carrying 57 kilos. He's in a 1,400 for 3-year-old colts in Sydney at Randwick on Wednesday, and he's one I'm lining up for it. And if this horse in the last race, matures a bit more with this run, and see how he goes.
You've got a busy life. You live in Bombala and you've got stables in Canberra. You've got stables in both places. You spend a lot of time in a car.
I do spend a lot of time in the car. I do quite a lot of travelling, and since I've opened up the stables in Canberra, which is really good, it's been great for me, and the training facilities here are good, and we've had a lot of winners, and it's very quick. It's only about 2.5, 3 hour trip to Sydney, so it kills two birds with one stone.
If you say it quickly, but you have a lot of success in Sydney.
Oh yes, I try to place my horses down there right, and yes.
Any more Merimbula Bays about?
No, not any Merimbula Bays at the moment, but we've got some very nice 2- and 3-year-olds in the stable that I think in the next couple of years we're going to have win some nice races.
Been active in the yearling sales?
Yes, this year ended up with 3 from the Inglis's sale. I didn't buy anything at the Magic Millions. I
First to
thought
jump out from Sherbert, who began well. Zdenka quickly away with Lee Gauntlet going fast, and Dan Dwyer. Cantonese just in behind as they settle, being followed by Varikan. Over on the outside, Rhabarber travelling up quickly, followed by L'Amour Monet. A length and a half into Alfred's Jewel, followed by Arabian Poppy, who's next to last, and Dancing Home has got back to last at the 1400. And going fast, Sherbert took the lead by a length in advance of Varikan on the inside of Rhabarber. Close up behind them, Risky, a length and a half to Dan Dwyer on the outside of Lee Gauntlet. A bit further back, Cantonese being followed by L'Amour Monet. Zenka back on the inside, and being followed closely there by Arabian Poppy, who's over on the inside of Alfred's Jewel, who's next to last, and Dancing Home is bringing up the rear. 1,200 metres out. Sherbert cutting them along by a length and a half. Rhabarber second. A similar gap further back is Varick, who's racing a bit ungenerously on the inside there, followed by Risky. 2 lengths further back is Cantonese making ground. So is Dan Dwyer on the inside. Lee Gauntlet a length and a half. Then L'Amour Monet. And then came Zdenka, followed by Alfred's Jewel. Dancing Home second last, and Arabian Poppy last of all. Sherbert showed the way down the side by a length on Rhabarber. 2 lengths to Risky making ground. Over on the inside is Varick, being followed by Cantonese. And then came Dan Dwyer, Lee Gauntlet. Alfred's Jewel around the outside. L'Amour Monet is back in behind them, followed by Zdenka. Dancing Home is second last, and Arabian Poppy last of all. 600 metres left to go as they round the home still. Sherbert half a length in advance of Rhabarber, challenging down the outside, and joining in is Risky. And over on the inside, Varick being followed by Cantonese, who's under pressure now, and further back in the field, Dan Dwyer inside the final 400 metres. Sherbert tackled ordered hereby on the outside, Rhabarber, who's gone up quickly, and over on the outside, Risky and Dan Dwyer, and Varick in behind them looking for a run, and L'Amour Monet starting to finish well from a fair way back. It's Rhabarber. Tackled again by Risky down the outside. Dan Dwyer and Zdenka coming through between runners is finishing very quickly. Zdenka over on the outside coming at Rhabarber and Risky. Zdenka takes the lead in the final stages. Zdenka wins from Risky. Good go for third, Rhabarber, or Dan Dwyer in a photo just ahead of L'Amour Monet. Sherbert back in behind them. Then came Varick, followed by Alfred's Jewel, and further back Arabian Poppy, and well back behind them Dancing Home, followed by Lee Gauntlet, and Cantonese weakened right out of it to finish back at the tail of the field. Zdenka coming through for a good win in the last of the day. Drew 1, got back in the field. She was a long way back early in the piece, and has finished powerfully between runners here. You'll see her come through between Dan Dwyer and Risky. Rhabarber just in advance there from Risky, and now Zdenka putting in her claim and taking out the major honours. In the Molly Blooms handicap number 7, Zdenka, ridden by Eddie Wilkinson, a 4-year-old bay mare by Western Symphony from April. Raced by Mr. K. Joseph and trained at Cranbourne by Matthew Highland. And there she is winning from number 11. Risky, ridden by Nash Rawiller. Third, number 2, is Dan Dwyer, ridden by Jason Patton. Final event of the afternoon goes to Zdenka. In good style, Eddie Wilkinson aboard, and defeating number 11, Risky, and a third placing to number 2, Dan Dwyer. 28.30, 7.20 Zdenka, Risky 8.80, Dan Dwyer 2.30. Last of the day here as we wrap it up from Flemington. Hope you found a winner or two. Big run to General Nadim in the Lightning. A great win to the Queensland Galloper. Back to Matthew, and we look forward to being with you at Tuesday, Kyneton. First event of 8 races at 12.50.
OK, John, thanks. Have a good week leading up to next Saturday at Caulfield when we go back for the CF4 Stakes. Might and Power, the Melbourne Cup winner, back. We'll have a look at Shove Hog in one of the preludes of the Blue Diamond. That's next Saturday. But we will replay some of those feature races this afternoon when things quieten down just a little bit. But we're going back to Canberra once again. Here's Richard.
Thanks very much, Matthew. With me is Michael Heath, the expert on late mail.
Yeah, very tough race, the 7th. Look, I've settled on number 8, Guarded Love here. This mare's been racing very consistently. Hasn't had a run for about 5 weeks, Richard. She's got a great record over this course and distance. She hits the line hard. John Scorse is riding well today, and he's a good rider all the time.
Though he missed the jump in the last.
Yeah, well, that horse has a habit of doing that. But Guarded Love, she can find the line very nicely. I did think she was well placed here with only a kilo over the limit. Looking for dangers, 6 Beauvale. A bit of an in and out type, but he does enjoy wet ground. Last start, he ran second to behind the Promising Music Video here. He blew that previous field away pretty comfortably, so you've got to put Beauvale in calculations. The favourite on course was number 10, Great Trip, trained by John Morrissey. Excellent wet track credentials. Been a bit disappointing in the midweek events in City of recent times, but he's had 2 starts over this course and distance for 2 wins. And most importantly, he certainly enjoys wet ground, and young Glenn Perry's claim of 3 kilos brings him right into the race for sure. The equal favourite with Great Trip on course is number 1, Mountain Time. Can't fault his condition. I thought he was a little bit under the odds. Young Michael Ward's a 3-kilo boy riding at Canberra. Not for the first time, but he has had a little experience here. He is drawn barrier 2, and he might need a little bit of luck. But summing it up, I've got number 8, Guarded Love on top, Dangers, 6 Beauvale and 10 Great Trip.
Thanks very much, and back to you, Matthew, in the studio.
OK, Richard, thanks very much. And still a couple of races to go at Canberra and a few left. We'll look at the market for Canberra. 360 for Mountain Time, Time After Time 13, 580 Beauvale, 980 My All Run, 390 Guarded Love, 40 for Bonnie Bella and Great Trip at $3.80. So 3 definite chances there, 3 all around the $3.60 mark for Canberra. 10-1-8 are Tony Campbell selections. Great Trip to get the money there.
This is race 7. Time After Time, the inside runner. Light is on. They're racing. Now, getting out very quickly was Mile Run towards an outside gate. Now, Time After Time is driving through, followed by Great Trip. Mountain Time is not too far away. A break behind those as they sort themselves out. Beauvale, followed by Bonnie Bella. At a length and a half, then Guarded Love at the tail of the field. There's a fair turn of speed on as they leave the back and race down the side. It's Time After Time on the inside, just leading. Mile Run moves up on its outside. A length behind those, Mountain Time, followed by Great Trip. Getting up along the inside was Beauvale. A long break behind those, Guarded Love. And Bonnie Bella is relegated to the tail of the field, racing down towards the 600, still a little between Time After Time and Mile Run on the outside. Beauvale is starting a run wide on the track. Running on was Great Trip, followed then by Mountain Time, and well back behind those, Guarded Love on the turn. But as they swing into the straight with about 400 to go, Mile Run is the leader on the outside. Great Trip is running on. In between those, Beauvale, followed by Guarded Love on the outside, and the next one was Mountain Time, well back behind those, Bonnie Bella. In the straight with about 250 metres to go, it's Great Trip in the centre of the leader. Beauvale is battling away, Mile Run, and on the outside, Guarded Love, but Great Trip raced away. Great Trip broke away inside the final 100. Guarded Love on the outside is trying hard, but here's a double for young Glenn Perry. Great Trip has held on to beat Guarded Love. Now third in the race, Beauvale, followed further back in the field, Mountain Time. The next one on the outside, Bonnie Bella, and Mile Run was second last, and Time After Time was a long last.
Kidlat was his other winner, and Glenn Perry scoring now on Great Trip number 10 at $4.20 and $2.40 for a place. 8 Guarded Love, $2 and 6 Beauvale for the place. No third dividend, so 10-8-6 on race 7 at Canberra. Number 10, Great Trip. You wouldn't believe it. It's another one for John Morrissey. That's 5 out of 7 races at Canberra this afternoon, won by John Morrissey, and I think he has 1 or 2 good chances in the last event there, race 8. In fact, just looking through the form, he'll line up Ken Point, the top weight in that race with a wide barrier. Wenders, also from barrier 16, is drawn out wide. And there are his 2 main chances in the last, Ken Point and Wenders for John Morrissey, trying to make it 6 winners there today. Now, Charlton, race 8, they're about to call them up. Donald, race 7 in 3. Great Trip, 4.10, 2.30 Canberra. Guarded Love, $2. No third, Beauvale. 6.50 Quinella. Double 7 and 10, $11.20. That's 5 winners to John Morrissey at Canberra this afternoon, and he's got 2 pretty fair chances going into the last. So it could be 6 of the 8 races, John Morrissey. Now let's go to apprentices. What would it be, 10 years ago now?
I don't know how long ago it was, Matthew, but I was just saying, was he champion? He said, yes, he was, with a big grin. Now, actually, were you, Matt?
Yes, I was. Back in 1990, 91, I was a champion apprentice of Sydney.
You apprenticed to Tommy Smith?
Definitely. I was very fortunate to be apprenticed to Mr. Smith, you know. You're riding horses like that, it's not a hard task to become a champion apprentice.
Now, a lot of apprentices do that, and then we never hear of them again.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, it's a fickle sort of game. You know, it's hard to work out. People are of the opinion that without an allowance, you lose an arm or a leg, but I can't see any difference. Apart from, I mean, it's great to have an allowance. You pull a couple of kilos off the horse's back, but no one tells you at the 200, oh, listen, you've got a 2.5 kilo allowance today and you don't have it tomorrow. Like, it's irrelevant whether the allowance is there or not, but it's the way the game is, I suppose.
What's happened to Matt Bravado since 1991? It's a big long gap, but what's happened?
I've had some misfortunes in my time. You know, I don't want to badger about that, but I'm still poking along and I'm riding winners today. So
you're still in there punching. What as a journalist, I'm immediately intrigued.
I lost my brother back in 91, and I should have sort of hit my straps in and really made a go of it, but I obviously went the wrong way. But you know, you learn from your mistakes, and I'm back to do it now.
Now, you rode at Kembley all day yesterday. You got up in Sydney this morning and drove down to Canberra. You're working hard.
Oh, definitely. You know, that's correct. I'm fortunate enough to have my fiancée. She's right behind me, and she shares the driving with me, and she's here today. So, yeah.
So what tonight? Driving back?
Definitely drive home and have some dinner and get up and do it all again tomorrow.
It's a pretty tough life, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It is. The rewards are there, though. You know, in this game you can make sort of the average wage in a day what people make in a week, so I'm not complaining.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that, because a lot of people don't say that about jockeys. Always complain that it is too tough and they don't get enough money. But when you say it in those terms, people work hard for $500, don't they?
Oh, they certainly do. The money's there. I mean, we risk our lives. You know, it's part and parcel of the game. Now, like I say, you can make sort of the average wage in a day. You certainly earn it, though. People don't realise that you're up early in the morning and you don't get paid for that. And that's how you cement your rides race day. But you know, you put the work in behind it, don't just the same. So.
OK, thanks, Matt, and good luck in the last.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Back to you, Matthew.
Good interview. Thanks for that, Richard. Now they're moving in at Caloundra for race 7.
Have a very good day, I would have thought, Matthew. He has 2 chances in the last. Let's see how Michael evaluates them.
Well, they're certainly well in the market, Ken Point and Wenders. I think Wenders is the pick of John's chances in the last. This horse ran second in the Black Opal last year on a bog. On an absolute bog. He hit the line hard. Look, he's been disappointing since then. He found form 3 weeks ago here. They rode him cold for the first time, and he obviously relished that riding tactic. He'll get back here this afternoon. That's the pattern of racing for Wenders now. On this track, I think that's a gamble. I'm terrified of him. Look, I've settled on the on-pace runner here, number 5, September Mist. This race has got no speed in it at all, and he will be the pacemaker. He'll go forward from his good barrier. Riley Saxton, he rides his horse well. He's only had 5 starts, only lightly raced 3-year-old for 2 wins. Importantly, he handles the wet ground. He bolted in at Gundagai on a heavy track 2 starts ago. He resumed here a fortnight back, ran a very nice midfield run behind a promising filly called So Turbulent. Got back on that occasion. That won't happen today. He'll push forward, and I thought at around about the 6 to 7 to 1 mark, he represented real good value. And there has been a bit of support for him in the ring. He got out to double each way odds, and he's come in a couple of points since then. I'm terrified of number 2, Wenders. Matthew Carl and John Morrissey, they're on fire. He's a horse on the way up, and I'm sure they've got the Canberra Guineas in mind for this horse. And number 1, Ken Point, the stablemate. He's coming back from 1,600 metres to 1,400 metres. That is a concern, but he'll hit the line very, very hard. It's a very open affair here, Richard, but I've settled on 5 from 2 and 1.
Most interesting race, actually, and you think that Riley Saxton can keep, and Terry Miller, I think, who trains him, can keep Mr. Morrissey from 6 wins.
Yeah, I think, well, at the value, I think you're entitled to gamble that Wenders won't overcome that obstacle of getting back on this track. But we'll see how the race pans out. The value runner is certainly number 5, September Mist.
September Mist is what price?
Ran about 6 or 7 to 1 with the books.
And Wenders?
Around about half each way odds, and it was a little bit easy actually, but I'm sure a lot's going to happen between now and when they jump.
These horses once again are being aimed at the Guineas, if they can come through today.
I've got no doubt about it. Ken Point and Wenders will be aimed at the Guineas. John could have anything up to 4 or 5 runners in this year's Canberra Guineas field. It's a $50,000 race, and why wouldn't you want to be aiming the local horses for a feature race at your local track?
He's becoming dominant, isn't he?
He's been dominant here for over 10, 20, 15 years at least. He's won the premiership for Up Team Times. Of course, 11 months ago now, he trained 7 winners on the card, and on a 9-race card, he had the 2 favourites going into the last race, and they both ran second. And that was a great training feat. He's got the cattle to do the work. He's got the best jockey in the area on top. Why wouldn't he be successful?
So, but you think that his best chance in this to win it is Ken Point or Wenders? Which one?
I've leaned towards Wenders for the Morrissey factor, but the value runner is certainly on an each-way basis, number 5, September Mist.
Well, we had Riley Saxton on before, and he's had a bad day, poor Riley, so it'd be nice to see him get one up.
Indeed it would, and hopefully he can get it for us in the last.
He's a nice little fella, isn't he?
Tell you what, he's a robust bloke, and he's tiny, but he's got a lot of strength about him, and he's ridden a lot of winners in the area of recent times. In fact, he's running second behind Matthew Carl in the South East Racing Association Jockeys Premiership.
He told us he'd actually wouldn't mind getting to the big time.
Well, good luck to him. Why not be a big fish in a small pond?
That's your advice to Mr. Saxton.
Indeed.
OK, let's go back to the studio with Matthew before we come up with the last at Canberra.
OK, Richard, thanks. It's about 6 minutes away, so we'll have a look what these ones are paying on the tote, these two of John Morrissey's, horses 1 and 2. Ken Point at $7.60 and Wenders at $5.30. They both drew wide. In fact, they both came up with the two extreme outside alleys, 15 and 16, but obviously they'll come into 12 and 13 respectively with the scratchings. Concord Flight $5.60 for September Miss. Matangi at $18, $8 Miss Creation, and number 10 Carla Cell at $13 for Canberra. Race 8 due in about 4 minutes' time. So it's a very open race. Positive Flyer 14, $22 for General Jackson. Miss May 40, 21 Molcello, Petite Sal 22, and Silent Trust at $99. That's for Canberra Race 8 in about 4 minutes. Concord Flight to beat Wenders, and Positive Flyer 4-2-11 are Tony Campbell's selections for the Win TV Class 2 handicap over 1,400 metres at Canberra. Miss Conviction won the last at Traralgon, 270, 180. Siobhan 180, 310 for Ningana. The Quinella $4.20, trifecta 65.70 on race 8. And Caloundra dividends on race 7. The winner was Springtide, $9.95, $2. Turpentine $1.25, $1.90 Call Me Betting Club. Some of their bigger meetings of the year over the next few weeks.
Exactly right, Matthew. The Black Opal and, of course, the Guineas coming up in a couple of weeks' time. And the man behind that is the dynamic young secretary at the ACT Racing Club, dynamic Damien Foley. Good afternoon, Damien.
I like the sound of that, Richard.
Do you like that boost?
Yeah, it sounds good. Yeah.
But it is an exciting time, isn't it? Because the Black Opal is now becoming a major 2-year-old race.
It is, yeah. It's really taken a position in the lead-ups to the Golden Slipper, and this year it should be bigger and better than ever, I believe. It's a little bit better placed on the racing calendar. It's 2 weeks after the Blue Diamond. It's 3 weeks before the Slipper. The nominations were outstanding. We had 660 nominations, something like 150 first acceptances, and at this stage it's looking like it'll be a very good race.
It is an ideal race for a horse going into the Golden Slipper because you can win 120,000 and that can pay your nomination if you're not nominated for the race.
That's right, yeah. And for those who haven't already been nominated, it's a $7,000 late entry fee. So realistically, if somebody's considering paying the $100,000 late entry fee into the Slipper, they're probably better off paying the $7,000 going around here. If they can't win here, they might as well not be in the Slipper. So it's probably the economical way to test your chances.
Yes, it'd tell the owners and trainers everything, wouldn't it?
That's
that
right.
Race.
That's right, yeah. And it's there's been a lot of horses who have won it or been placed in it who have run very well in the Slipper. I think there's something like 7 of the last 13 runners-up in the Golden Slipper have won the Black Opal, so it's always been a good lead-up.
And things are going well with the new percentage boost of 0.5 extra percent coming from the ACT TAB, representing a lot of money.
It does, yeah. It's realistically, it was very good timing with...
We better go to the race. We better go to Tony because he's getting impatient.
OK, let's go to Tony Campbell, high up in the broadcast box. He's about to call them around for the last event at Canberra, race number 8, and it's a Class 2 over 1,400 metres. And the popular pick is Wenders. They've come for the John Morrissey galloper. He's into $4.10. Last couple going in. Here's Tony.
Moving in for the last. As I mentioned earlier, don't forget the big day next Sunday in this local area, the South East Racing. Star City Queanbeyan Cup Day next Sunday. It'll be a big day. Nominations close tomorrow, please note, owners and trainers. So next Sunday, Star City Queanbeyan Cup. The following Friday, it's the Goulburn City Cup, and that'll be another top day. That is Friday the 21st of... Friday the 20th. Friday the 20th of February, Goulburn City Cup Day. So lots of top racing in this local area. Star City Queanbeyan Cup next Sunday, and the following Friday it's the Goulburn City Cup. Now the line is set by the looks of things over there. It's the last of the day, a very open race. Light goes on. They're boxed. They're away. Oh, one stood in the stalls, Petite Sal. Petite Sal is